Welcome, everybody. I am Bonnie Bruder, and you are watching Askbonbon TV, real conversations about what matters most, where we introduce you to the people and the tools to create you. So today's guest is really exciting because when I first read his bio, he has many, many titles. So there'll be no shortage of things to talk about today. But that is something that people always tease me about because I have a number of different certifications. I'm an author and a speaker. So it's so much fun when you meet somebody that also has many different passions and follows them all. And also, my favorite part of his bio is that he is also a fellow Ironman. So today I want everybody to meet the actor and award-winning author, G. Brian Benson. Brian, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bonnie. It's a pleasure to be here.
So I have to ask, I was reading your credits, and you have been acting in some pretty incredible roles. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Thanks. I'm really blessed. I've only been out in LA a year and a half, so I've just been kind of trying to build my resume and my experience. But I've had some fun little parts on Identification Discovery Channel show, Unusual Suspects, and I had a little part in that History Channel show. And I've got an upcoming part in a yet-to-be-released TV series called Sangre Negra, which I have a recurring part for a little while, and I'm excited about that, too. So, yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and just learned a lot about myself and gained a lot of confidence too.
That's fantastic. I was having a salad before I came to the studio today, and I was reading all of the roles you've had, and I had to giggle because they were so diverse, and I was really excited to chat with you. So you are an award-winning author. Tell us about your books.
Well, the very first book, Brian's List, 26 and a half easy-to-use ideas on how to live a fun, balanced, healthy life, was my first book, and it kind of came about as an accident. About 6 years ago, I was running my family's business in Oregon. We had a golf center, and I was just burnt out and tired, and I kind of felt like I was supposed to do something else with my life, although I really didn't know what it was at the time. And I just got so out of balance that I decided to just write down a handful of things that I knew that would keep me in balance, and it really helped me, so much so that my intuition kind of kicked me in the butt and said, why don't you expand the list and make it into a book to help others too? And so I did. And it just kind of pointed me in a whole new direction. And so I ended up leaving the business and just through one step at a time, kind of listening to my intuition and stepping out of my comfort zone. It's just kind of led me to writing more books and to get into acting.
Wow.
I didn't expect either of the things to happen.
We hear that a lot from guests that we have on the show that have kind of sort of a unique career path, I would say. Maybe they were doing one thing and then all of a sudden they started to do something else. And we hear the word intuition and following your path. And I think it's fantastic that you kind of heard a call, and it would have been, probably fairly easy to stay on track and to do what your family had done before you. So it's a lot of fun to hear people that are actually having success after having made such a big life shift and life transition.
Thank you.
And so tell us about your other books. You mentioned you had more than one.
Yeah, I have 4 books. 2 of them are in print, and all 4 of them are ebooks. I have another one called The Art of Balance. It's just an ebook. And I have one called Discovering Your True Self, which is a story about how I got into triathlons actually after having a knee injury. And that's kind of a unique story too. And then my latest one, my most recent book, is called Finding Your Voice. And this is a compilation of blogs and stories and quotes and poems and things that I've kind of compiled the last couple of years. And as I've kind of learned and grown myself, because I know we all have a lot in common, and so I just kind of, I don't know, feel like I want to share that just to kind of help others get through their stuff too that could be very similar to mine in different ways, but similar. Yeah.
Fantastic. So can you give us some tips on balance? That is a big question that we get a lot from our viewers. They want to know, we have these busy lives, we have all these different roles. What are some things that you've learned that you share with your audience about balance?
Gosh. Well, it's kind of a moving target, and so it's not always easy to kind of find balance because, every day we wake up differently with the amount of energy or things we're focused on, and so it is a bit of a moving target. But if we can find things that kind of a rhythm to, if we find things that we know that can keep us in balance and we do those ahead of the schedule, we can kind of live proactively instead of reactively. And so I've just really, through trial and error and just through all the things that I've been going through the last 5 years, I think one of the things I'm most proud of is knowing how to take care of myself and stay in balance and be grounded when things are going on, and know what I need to do, when things get a little tougher, to take a break when I need to, etc. But getting outside and hiking is huge for me. For some people it might be running or cycling like yourself, or what have you, but I don't train very much anymore in the triathlon realm because all the other things that I'm doing. But I love to go hike. It provides some exercise. It kind of helps clear my head. But most importantly, I think it keeps my channels clear, which allows my intuition to come through stronger. And that's where I get my ideas and inspiration from.
That is so true. The working out and having some way that you can stress release is so important. I miss that about living in the Bay Area in California. Now it's kickboxing for me, and I know we talked on the phone prior to this taping, and we talked about Ironman and training and all of the time and energy that goes into that. But I find it's living in New York and being busy, I simply don't have the time anymore. So it's nice to hear that you can balance so many different things. I read you're also a father, you're an author, you're an actor. So what is your vision? What's kind of next? If you look at the next year and you have some goals that you're setting for yourself, what does that look like?
Boy, that's hard to. It's interesting. I don't really set goals anymore, because I found sometimes when I would set them, I maybe kind of had a narrow vision of maybe how I was to get to them, and if it didn't happen, I would kind of, that whole expectation thing can kind of get in the way. So now I just kind of try to hold on to intentions, and I'm really not sure where everything's headed, but I really feel like I'm in the flow, and every day things happen where I just, some synchronicity, this event, if that's a word, will happen where I meet somebody. Just for example, tomorrow, I met somebody a couple of weeks ago who's a director, and she's done a couple of her own films, and she saw my Finding Your Voice book, and saw some of the writings in there, and she wanted to put them to video. So we're going to go do that tomorrow, and I've always wanted to do that, so it just happened effortlessly. I'm going to be doing a TED Talk at the end of May, a TEDx talk, so I'm really excited about that. So I've been preparing for that. Some TV work. I don't know. As far as where I want to head, I just want to continue being a living example for other people. As I learn and grow myself, I'm just kind of letting everybody in on the ride, and kind of sharing with them what works for me, what doesn't work for me. And I love to put out positive media material, whether it's a book, a short film. I've got another short film coming out pretty soon that I wrote and acted in. It's got a nice message. And so I'm open to anything. If anybody wants to connect with me, I'm open to anything.
Fantastic. So what is your TED Talk on? That sounds very exciting.
It's TEDx Pasadena, and the theme of the show is Transform, Transcend, and Thrive. And my talk is basically on the last 6 years of my journey. And I kind of encapsulate it in 5 things that I learned and utilized, which helped me find my personal freedom as I left my job. And so I'm really excited. I love my talk, my speech that I put together, and every day I practice it, because I want to go into it relaxed. I still have a month to go, but it's exciting.
I'm sure you'll do great. I love TED Talks. That's how I start my day every morning. I play them in the background while I'm getting ready and making coffee and getting my dog ready. And I just think it's the most incredible way for people to get such great information, in our modern day and age, when you maybe only have 17 or 18 minutes. You don't have an hour. You don't have, a couple of hours where you can sit down and watch a film or listen to something. So I'm excited to hear your talk.
Thanks.
And so what advice do you have for people if viewers are watching and they're feeling like their life is out of balance, or they're feeling like, maybe they're on a path like you were that probably isn't necessarily the right path for them, but they don't know how to make a change, or they don't know how to transform or transcend? What advice would you give people as far as just getting started?
First of all, I just want everybody to know that they're enough, just being who they are. And I mean, that's something that I had to kind of come to grips with myself. And it wasn't easy, but we have what we need inside of us to point us in the directions that we need to go, or to give us the fulfillment that we need. Not everybody's going to write a book, but I mean, maybe somebody just being the best parent they can be, or a teacher, or whatever. I mean, there's something inside of us that is aligned that will help us just, be who we're meant to be. And so, if somebody's thinking about making a change, I did mine kind of abruptly. I wouldn't necessarily it depends on your situation. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to do things on the side to prepare yourself to leave something that you're currently in, whether it's take some classes or what have you. But just start moving toward it. You know, do what you enjoy doing. Do what makes you feel good. I think the key is just allowing your creativity to come through, and it can mean so many different things to so many different people. But I think we're truly happy as spiritual human beings when we are allowing ourselves to be creative.
Very true. That's been a very common theme in a lot of our episodes as well, is just take a step, do something, take a step forward. And I like that you encourage people to, take a class. You don't have to just all of a sudden do something extreme in your life. If you're miserable and you hate your job, you don't have to Jerry Maguire and quit and, uproot your whole life. Just take a step, find out what you may be interested in. And if that's not it, try something else and try something else.
Exactly, but just start moving. Start moving and just take baby steps at first, and you'll be guided. If you really, really honestly make an effort to try to stay in balance for yourself, you'll get the nudges, and just trust them. I mean, that's the key. It really comes down to just trusting your intuition, and it gets easier the more you do it. But I wouldn't live my life any other way. I mean, it's provided me or pointed me in the direction that I'm in. That I would not even had expected to be. So yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being here. And if viewers are interested in contacting you or learning more or watching your TED Talk, what's the best way for them to find you?
Yeah, my website is gbrianbenson.com, and it's Brian with an I, so gbrianbenson.com, and you can see all the different things that are going on there and find out how to find me on Facebook and Twitter and all that kind of stuff too.
Well, thank you so very much for being here and for sharing your message, and we wish you the best of luck. And I look forward to seeing you in some of your upcoming roles.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Sounds good. Well, thank you everybody for being here and for watching. This has been the Askbonbon Show. I am your host, Bonnie Bruder, where we bring you real conversations about what matters most and introduce you to the people and the tools to create you. Bye for now. We'll see you next time.